Hello, farmers, and welcome to another episode of The Harvest Season. My name is Al.
And my name is Codey.
And we are here today to talk about cottage core games.
Woo!
As always, transcripts are available in the show notes and on the website. Codey, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Celebrating America Day by staying at home and not doing anything. Though honestly, so I'm staying at because I'm doing Pokemon Go Fest this upcoming weekend, like the next 3 days in New York City. And so I'm at my partner's house or his apartment in New Jersey. So we could probably literally just walk like 10 minutes to the riverfront. And then watch the fireworks that happen, like possibly either over the river or like the ones happening in the city. We'd see them from here probably as well. So
when do they happen?
So, usually it's like after sundown, so it'd be like a 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So I got
see that's what I always find funny about America. Like, your big fireworks day is in July, and I'm like, that just sounds so late at night for fireworks, because like our big one is November, so it's getting dark here at like 5 o'clock at that point. So like, you're finished work and you can go out and watch the fireworks. Like, you don't have to wait long at all. It's great.
Well, we have to celebrate that day that we said heck you to the British monarchy. So
yeah, I mean, I'm sure they could have chosen a different day if they wanted to. I mean, it's probably too late now, but like, there were multiple days, days they could have chosen. It's not like there's just one specific day,
right?
Anyway.
Yeah. So that's what I'm. How are you?
I'm good. I'm celebrating Independence Day in a different way, with an election. So, woo
democracy.
Yeah, still. For now.
Yeah, it was like, wait, are we still counting this as democracy?
Well, we have more democracy than you just now, I think. Although we still have an elected monarch. So, not an elected monarch, an unelected monarch.
Yeah, not elected.
You have an elected monarch. We have an unelected monarch.
Well, they're trying to make it a monarch.
I know. That's what I'm in.
Anyway.
Yeah, so just paying attention to election. We're recording this 2 hours before that finishes, so gonna be a long night.
Do y'all have the ranked choice voting though? Okay, never mind. Today's episode is about Go-Go Town.
So today we're going to talk about Go-Go Town.
Yep.
This is going to be a Go-Go Town first impressions, because I didn't think we'd be able to get enough time to play this game properly to do a full in-depth discussion of the game.
Yep.
And after playing the game, maybe that was a good suggestion. So we'll talk about that in the main section. Before that, we have some news, some exciting news, some news. First of all, Codey, what have you been up to?
I, as ever, am a PhD student with 2 extra jobs, so busy. But when I'm not doing that, I'm still playing my cross-stitch game. It's just basically a color by number game. I am running out of like in-game money to buy patterns though, so I need to slow down on it and find something else to do. Because I get like a certain amount of currency each day, so when I complete them, so I just need to like slow down and get caught up, like find the balance again. I just had a bit where I'm like trying to brain rot a little bit, so playing it quite a bit. Also, I beat the career mode of Power Wash Simulator, so I'm now going through and trying to 100% all of the achievements. Which is, I mean, it's just stuff like one achievement is called Way of the Blade, and it was like, on the helicopter, finish the blades first. So I did that. So I'm just like doing those kinds of things. One of them is to like complete the carousel without ever turning the carousel off. It's also going to be wild. The carousel was a pain in the booty to do the first time. So trying to do it.
I can see how it would be difficult if it was spinning.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's that kind of stuff. It's sad for some humans. Cassette beasts I have kind of put aside for the moment. I hit a point where there was an intriguing thing that happened in the story, and then I was like, oh no, there's story. And
I didn't sign up for story.
I was like, oh no, I'm gonna care. Like, I want to be able to like sit down with this and really pay attention. And that's not what I'm looking for in a game right now. I need to just turn my brain off, which is not what I do when there's stories in games. So, yeah, that'll be on pause for a smidge. But Disney Dreamlight Valley added Mulan and Mushu. There's also now a daily request thing through Remy's diner restaurant. I don't remember what they call it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so you have daily challenges now with Daisy at her boutique, which you can get currency to then buy more stuff. So I've been doing that. It's real simple. You basically just go and she's like, I want an outfit that has this. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then you just make that outfit and then that's what you wear for a bit. But there's now something like that with Remy. He does this like delivery service where it starts little quests of like, yesterday it was like the fairy godmother has ordered a bunch of desserts, and then you bring it to the fairy godmother and she's like, thank you, can you bring these to Ursula for me? And we're like, what the heck, why are you what? And then you get like a thousand monies and you get some currency to buy something for Remy's place. But I really like I paid the in-game Moonlight or Moonstone currency or whatever. I have a bunch of it because I've played since early access. So they were like throwing that stuff at me. So I spent some of that on the star path for Mulan because pretty much everything is fire. Like all of the outfits are really good. All of the furniture is really good. It's not cherries, it's magnolias, like these like pink floating flower piles and stuff like that. But it's really, really pretty. A lot of like dresses or outfits that have that as part of the outfit. So yeah, definitely really like that. Still trying to get achievements in that game as well. So been playing that. That's pretty much it. What have you been up to?
I have been obviously playing Go-Go Town. I have been playing some more Dave the Diver. I got really into that. So that's been going well. And also Farm RPG, as usual.
How many bottles are we at now?
Oh, 85. 85. It's taken a while. My I can't forget. Is it the crafting, I think, that needs to be as well as the farming? My farming level is at 85, so that's what's limiting me just now. But my crafting level is at 97, so that kind of shows you the difference there. And it's like it's quite insane, the increases you need to get. So I'm currently at 424 million XP for farming. And to get to level 99, it's 2 billion. So I'm not even a quarter of the way there, even though I'm at level 85.
Yep.
So I think that's going to take a while because it's quite limited in how much you can actually farm, obviously. So I currently have 32 plots just now. 8 lines. 8 rows. Yeah, 8 rows of things. And it's like 1 billion to get the next next row. 1 billion silver. Yeah. Which is going to take me a long time to get to. So, yeah.
I mean,
I'm
it's
just
good that you're still plugging away and going down that storyline.
Yes.
For curious listeners / me. Because I definitely wanted to hear the end of it, but did not have the ability to commit. So.
I'm not promising I'll get there.
But like, it's the sunk cost fallacy at this point. I know. Like, what? You can't. You're almost there.
I know. Why do you have to do this to me?
I'm sorry. I appreciate you. Appreciate your efforts.
Yeah. The good news is today, as we're recording, I got my inventory to exactly 1,000.
Nice.
So, there we are. I'm at 1,000 now.
Are you keeping it there, or are you going to keep...
Of course I'm not keeping it there.
It's a good...
I need more inventory.
It's a good, like, even number, you know?
I know
That's
it's a
fair,
good
though.
even number, but, like, to get anywhere, you need to get much higher.
I
Gotta
heard
keep
something
going.
the other day that 5 is the most even odd number. And I don't know why Yep, it's true. That is true. It just
So,
is.
we're going to talk about some news.
Codey's ADHD cast. Yeah, news.
First up, we have... I feel like my headphones are on backwards.
That's important.
They were on backwards, that's why. I was like, these feel uncomfortable, and then I realised the cable was on the wrong side, so that explains. That's why they were uncomfortable and not staying on my head.
That's fair.
Ever After Falls have announced that they're Steam Deck verified now.
Woo! That's it. That's the tweet.
Yep. I don't think it's actually changed anything. This just means that they've had it approved that they were doing everything they were meant to do. So they were doing everything they were meant to do, and now they have proof.
Woo!
Hotel Galactic have announced a timeline for their project. So their Kickstarter, it'll be out by the time this episode out. I think it comes out on Monday.
Monday.
And they've Monday.
This episode comes out on Monday?
The Kickstarter.
Oh, okay. I was like, I thought this was a Wednesday thing. Anyway.
Not the podcast episode. The Kickstarter for this game comes out on Monday.
Yeet.
How do you always confuse me? I
confuse myself.
So the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So the Kickstarter will be out by the time you listen to this. The early access for the game is Q2 next year, and then full release is apparently Q4 of 2026.
And
that is their current
sure
plan.
Looks like a good game. I'm excited for it. I don't know. I really like the little one of the characters named Sparn. He looks real cute, and it says that he trips over himself all the time. And I was like, do the same. So yeah, little cute dude, and it's like I'm just gonna stop. It looks good. It's on my watch list, but it's really far away from time, so who knows if the universe will still exist at that point.
Yeah, it's on my wish list as well, but so is everything basically.
Are you gonna kickstart it?
Probably.
Okay. Or are you
just kickstarted one. What did I just kickstart? Tiny Garden.
Oh, yeah.
The not a Polly Pocket game.
The Polly Pocket game.
The not a Polly Pocket game. It's definitely not a Polly Pocket game.
Totally not. Yeah. Cool.
But I feel like there's quite a few coming out soon.
Polly Pocket games?
No Kickstarters. Oh, because there's that one. And then we've got Farm Folks and Lose Lagoon and Super Zoo Story and Outbound and Moonhaven, all in my upcoming projects list.
Yep. I'm not gonna kickstart anything.
Sensible.
Looks really cute though. It's on. My eyes are on it. My eyes are also on Coral Island.
Nice. They've given more information on their 1.1 update.
Did we know the name of the update?
I don't know, but what I will say is that we did know everything that's in this title, right?
Yeah.
None of this is new information, and it is a very boring title. Story finale, Land and Sea.
I mean, it's...
Congrats, well done.
I think
what a great name.
At calling it story finale, like, points to the fact that they were like, stuff was not ready. Like, stuff was not...
Yeah.
It was not
They should have just called it... It's the 1.1 update called 1.0.
Yeah.
We've got the game now. Congrats.
Yeah.
So they've given some more information on things. let's leave the most exciting thing for last. So we'll talk about the fact that they've got some more of the merfolk townies. So there's 4 of them there: Galung, Etna, Codey, and Lanin.
Mm-hmm.
With a little bit of explanation for them. They've added a gacha machine for recycling, so you can put in rubbish and get things, which is cool. Recycling stuff.
Did the recycling center ever work before? Is it just something you have to turn on? Okay.
I don't think it did. I think this is it.
This is the first time. Okay, because I was like, I never got the recycling center to work. So
I think that might be why. I think the recycling center was more of a theory than an actual thing.
Yeah. I was surprised that they're adding a gacha mechanic. But yeah,
I think it's cool the way they've done it, right? I mean, gacha, right, whatever, you can just call it recycling, right? You put in rubbish, which you're not going to do anything else with, right? Mm-hmm. Once you've crafted 5 rubbish chests, right? Like, that's the only thing you're ever going to use it for. You throw it in this machine and you get other stuff out of it. And it's obviously, pointing towards the whole goal of this, which is, the environment. Mm-hmm. So it's, recycling. They show you getting a seedling, which is cool. I don't know how we can turn rubbish into a seedling, but I'm not going to complain.
They did also have the savannah, which is there's a gacha machine in the savannah.
Yes. Yeah, it's the same one. It's just
okay. It's just another okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Which the savannah thing was wild because it showed that there's like a panther that you talk to, and you end up racing the panther, and you could win an outfit that is the panther.
I'm not 100% sure what the deal is with the savannah, because I'm pretty sure it does exist in the game currently, but I never ended up unlocking it.
Yeah.
Because there were a few items that I just didn't get to that point. So I know this panther and the race with the panther is a new thing, but I'm pretty sure you could get to the savannah before.
Yeah. I never was there, but
I think it's the only area I didn't get to in the game.
But it's wild to me that there is this character and that the outfit that you can win from her is basically her. Like
her skin.
Basically,
right?
Because I don't know how you would. I don't know. That's wild. She's really cool though, and it's a cool idea to do like a racing thing. But that's that.
They've added new looks for sheds, so you can change how they look. One of which, like the turnip and the carrot and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. I want my carrot shed.
You want a carrot shed?
I want a carrot shed. I actually want a pumpkin shed, but it's not on the list. But I want a pumpkin shed.
I want a potato.
Ooh, good one.
Like that would
one.
That would be goober, and I would like that.
They've also added some new outfits. They've added a cellar, which is exactly what you expect it to be.
It looks like the sewer from it. It
does.
Looks like the sewer from.
Why
Stardew.
is it so gross in there? That's weird. There's a new fruit for increasing HP. There is the Lumina sprinkler, as it's called. So this is, for those who aren't remembering, they are adding underwater farming, so you can farm specific plants underwater, and instead of watering them, you light them. So you've got like a little stick that lights them daily rather than watering them. But up till this point, we didn't know whether there was going to be a sprinkler equivalent. Thankfully, there is the Lumina sprinkler. So I'm happy about that. They've also added some information on the multiplayer. I mean, it's kind of just what you would expect, I think, mostly. It's kind of Stardew, same style of multiplayer as Stardew.
Yep.
Someone hosts the game and up to 3 other people can join, and
I'm so excited to do it and have Mark from Australia spend all of my money. Because the one time I played multiplayer Stardew, I played it with Mark, and he spent all my money because we didn't realize that the money was tied together.
Wild.
It was really funny.
And the most exciting thing in this update, I think you'll agree, Codey, is dino suits for your animals.
Which it doesn't. I love that they call it dino suits because it doesn't look like you put the animal in a suit. Like it's not a costume. It's like you've like transmogrified them.
Yeah, I think
To be
the
something.
idea is they're trying to say that you are putting it in a suit. But yeah, like the cow gets smaller in one dimension when you do that.
Yeah.
Like the cow cannot fit in there unless you're squishing its head and stretching it out, right? But I don't care. I think this is cool.
It is cute.
I want a T-Rex. I want to turn my ostrich into a T-Rex. I want to turn my cow into a brontosaurus. I want this. This is great. But my big question is, where are they for my dogs as well, please and thank you.
I mean, that what they wouldn't do that because you don't want a dinosaur in the home, and
I
dogs
do.
can't come out of the home. Well,
No,
if you
I
want a
do.
dinosaur in the home, get the bearded dragon.
I want
I want the bearded dragon.
I want my dog in a dino suit.
I want the bearded dragon to become like not a dragon, like becomes like a something else. I don't know. I don't even know.
Well, you want to put it in a cat suit?
Yes. But I want it to be
Just
like
get a cat then.
I don't want it to be the like that it becomes a cat. I would want it to be a little bearded dragon head sticking out of a little cat outfit. I think that'd be so flipping cute. I might do this to my beardy in real life, actually. I'm gonna look up bearded dragon outfits.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to this update.
Yep. I'm also sorry. There are some really cute bearded dragon outfits.
All right, do we need to pause? Do we need to wait until you're finished?
No, this is good content. No, it's we're fine. Yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to jump back into Coral Island, so this is just kind of making me want to wait a smidge. When is this supposed to come out?
They haven't said. It's currently in beta. I suspect Q3.
Okay.
I say that. That's like now.
Well, this is
I
like the beginning of Q3, so
I think probably August. That would be my guess. August. Because I think they said there's a second update coming out this year. So I feel like they need to get it out soon. But I do not want it in July, please and thank you.
So the answer is I'm gonna have to make my bearded dragon her own cat costume because they don't exist. Just if anyone else has a bearded dragon and was interested.
Are you surprised? I'm not surprised that no bearded dragon cat costume exists.
I'm pretty surprised.
It seems pretty niche.
You don't know the bearded dragon community, do you?
I mean, why not just get a cat?
Because I don't want that. I want it's like when you put your cat in a little dragon costume. You don't want a lizard. You just want to embarrass your animal.
I don't think they have feelings like that. I don't think they feel embarrassment because that's a social construction.
I think they would. I think they'd be very embarrassed. Stella acts very embarrassed sometimes. I don't know about the dragon, but...
what is this conversation?
We have 2 new games that we can talk about.
Yeah, not that we're going to have much to talk about. The first one, Real Fishing Days of Summer. The new Real Fishing game comes out on October the 28th on Switch and PS5, and it is exactly what you expect. It's a new Real Fishing game. Yep. It looks exactly the same as the previous Real Fishing game, and there's fish. So if you love the Real Fishing games, I'm sure you'll be excited about this.
It just makes me want to play. I think there's a fishing game that I've been wanting to play that's on Game Pass. And I did grow up playing, I think it was just Bass Pro Shop fishing. I remember playing that as a 8-year-old. So, yeah, looks all right.
Cool. The other game is called Preserve. And the blurb about this is Preserve is a relaxing puzzle nature building game in which you flourish a vibrant ecosystem by cleverly placing plants and animals to create a perfect symbiosis to your liking. So, you've got these hexagonal tiles that have different biomes and stuff like that, and it looks like you put them together to make a world that you want.
Yep.
There's animals as well. Looks pretty chill.
Yeah, I like that it's a puzzle. I like the idea of it being a puzzle game, and maybe they have requirements for each puzzle. Build a puzzle that has 10 animals, from 4 different biomes or something like that, you know, and like to build maybe like one of the animals requires like I'm just making this up. Maybe like the wolf requires a forest biome right next to a meadow biome that has a river biome going through it. To like make it a puzzle. I think that would be really cool. I'm never a fan of these like island games where like it's the world is just kind of a floating thing and you just kind of build on top of these hexagonal. I don't even know how to describe it, but there have been a lot of games that have been coming out like this. Not a super big fan of that, but also like as an ecologist, I look at a game like this and I'm like, this would never. You'd put the wolves in the forest and they'd be like, heck you, I'm gonna go over here. Like, you can't.
Animals don't do what you want them to.
You can't box nature that way. But yeah, coming on August 8th to Steam, both Windows, Mac, and Linux. That's cool. What did you think about this game?
It's probably not something I'd play, but I think it looks cool, and I know some people love these types of games. So, yeah, it's cool.
I wonder how much it's going to be. Click. Does not have an amount. Okay.
Speaking of the whole animals not doing what you want.
Yeah.
They reintroduced beavers in Scotland like maybe 10 years ago or something like that. And now the farmers are like, can we kill them, please? And you're like, oh, no, you can't kill them. We put all the effort into putting them back into the wild. No, you can't kill them.
Yep. That was the classic thing in Oregon. Everyone was like, bring the wolves back because we killed all the wolves. But like, then we had too many deer and the deer population were getting like really gross. So like, bring them back. And then all of the agricultural folks that live on the east side of the state were like, we follow the 3 S's, the shoot it, shovel it, and shut up.
Oh, look, it's an animal. Can we kill it?
Yeah, and they're just like, we want to kill it's eating our cows, we're gonna kill it. And it's like,
can you just stop killing just for a minute, right?
Well, and they also, like, a lot of those people, they put their cows on Bureau of Land Management land, which is like free land for anyone to use. But like, if you're not putting your cows within an enclosure, it's kind of on you.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah. You know, I recently learned why beavers dam. Do you know how this works? I don't know if this is in your area of interest at all.
Oh, it is 100%. Oregon is the beaver state, so
it's fascinating because it's like, for those who feel free to correct me if I've misunderstood this, Codey, but for listeners, basically the way the dam, which raises the level of the water, which means that they store water, not water, they store food under the water, which allows them because the water is increased, it goes into their house, and then that means that it doesn't freeze inside their house, so they can still get into the water, even when it's the surface of the water is frozen outside of there, and it preserves their food in the cold water underneath. Isn't that really cool? That's so clever.
Which, if they build on like the edge of a lake or something, is fine. That doesn't really mess with anything. But then when they build in a riverine system, like in a river or a creek or a stream or some small system, and they can divert entire like watersheds, they're known as a keystone species because if they are in an environment, they completely change the structure of the environment.
Don't know anyone else like that. Yeah,
Usually,
it's just so clever. I love it.
They're really mean though. Don't go up to them.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't planning on doing it. I'll be honest with you.
I haven't had to mess with one yet, but like, I have a feeling Stella would try and go for it, and I would be really worried about that. I
generally appreciate nature from a distance. That's my general rule. Now, we don't have many things in this country that could kill me, but that's just my general rule. Is I enjoy it over there.
Yeah.
And I'm over here, and we're all good.
Yep.
So that's the news.
Woo!
we are going to talk about Go-Go Town, our first impressions. So I have purchased the game and I've put in maybe 15, 20 hours, I think, something like that. Codey has purchased the game and put 0 hours into it.
Didn't even purchase it.
I thought you said you'd bought it already.
No.
Did you not say that to me? That ruins my joke then.
I mean, it's still funny to say Codey has not purchased the game and has put none hours into it. But I did watch a French guy for like 5 minutes on Twitch, so I basically know everything about the game. Everything. No, it was. I've watched the developers play a little bit, but not a ton. I'm basically coming in naive. So,
well, let me do an intro. So, this game is I feel an interesting mix between a standard cottagecore farming game and a management style game.
Okay.
Where you are controlling a character. You have a character who you control and you move around and you do your standard things. You do your farming, you do your wood chopping, you do your mining, you do your fishing. But you're also controlling the town. You're basically in control, kind of Animal Crossing-esque, but in my opinion, in a much nicer way, in that you have like a build mode where you can just like move things around rather than having to like manually go and do them all. Different people like different things, but I quite like that. And your aim is to build up this town. It basically doesn't exist when you get there. You have to build it up. You get visitors. You encourage visitors to stay, and you build up your town into a thriving mini metropolis. Is a kind of short way of explaining it without going into too much detail at the start. I guess my first impressions before we go into details of the mechanics would be that I think there's a really fun and strong core game here, but it very much feels like an early access game, but not in a, oh, it's rough or buggy or anything. It's not, but in a, it feels like it's like a small section. It's kind of like, did you ever play Ooblets in its early access?
I have never played Ooblets.
So no. Well, it feels like that to me. For listeners, I talked about it in the Ooblets episode, the first Ooblets episode. It was like a very strong, very clearly defined game, but very limited in its area and story and all these things together. In that it feels like the game has a lot of room to expand, and it's not there yet, but everything that is there is fun. But the question is it enough to be a compelling game in and of itself just now? And I think it does, but I think if you were to play this just now, you would feel like there's quite a lot missing, but you're not quite sure what that is. It's hard. It's not like in Coral Island where you go, oh, and now I've reached the end of this story, but it's clearly not the end of the story. It's not like that. It's like, okay, this is fun, but I feel like there's stuff missing. I just don't know what that is.
Yeah. Like where is the missing part? And is this just where it ends?
Yeah, and it's definitely not, because they've had a good detailed list of what they're wanting to do. And the good thing is that they have taken, people's opinions, and they've changed what they're planning to do. Not what they're planning to do, but the order they're planning to do, because people's priorities are different from what theirs were. So they've gone, oh, right, okay, you really want this, that's fine, we'll bump that up the priority list type thing, which is really good listening to that feedback. But
Yep.
I guess let's go into some of the specifics, and feel free to input into any of these that you actually saw in the game. So the farming, you start out with just like a few plots. You have to like buy a plot. You can't just you don't have a hoe to do whatever. It like everything in this game, it's like you have a limited number that you're allowed to buy until you level up, and then you can buy more, which I understand why they've done it, because they want to kind of limit what you can do until you do more, and then it feels like you're expanding that way. But personally, I'm not a huge fan of that, because it feels like, oh, but I have the money. My big problem in this game is I have max money and I can't spend it because there's nothing to buy, because I've already bought everything. but I can't make any more money because apparently there's a max amount of money you can have, which feels really weird.
I mean,
But yeah, it just feels like the balance isn't right there.
Your purse is only so big. Can you upgrade it?
I haven't seen anything to be able to do that. Now, having said that, I haven't gone through all of the upgrades. I think I'm maybe like level 5 of the tech tree. But I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything that upgrades that.
What's your how much do you have for monies?
I think it's 1,000.
Okay, that's what the developers are also have on their stream.
Right,
They're streaming right now, so that's probably just the standard.
I think it is, yeah. And I don't know whether that's something they're planning on adding upgrades to or what. It feels like a weird, like I've never played a game where they limit the max amount of money you're able to have. That feels like a weird and arbitrary restriction, and I'm not sure why it would be there other than because they don't trust their own economy in the game.
I mean, it adds a level of difficulty.
It's not difficulty though, right? Like, because especially if there's nothing to spend money on. Because then you just get to the point where you're like, okay, now I've unlocked something and I can immediately buy everything. And then once I've bought things, I can then earn money again. Like, I've never got to the point where I've not had enough money for that. And money's pretty easy to make because you just wait. Like, literally, if you just had this game running without you doing anything, especially once you've unlocked a bunch of the stuff and you've got it implemented, the game basically runs itself. So you could just stand there and you would gain money.
I think that's what it is. I think that's what I think of it being more difficulty is because you can't just do that, because at a certain point, like if you left the game and went into another room or like went and did something else and you came back, maybe like an hour into that, it was at max money, so there was no point in like letting the game run all of that time. You would have had to check in on it and fix it somehow, you know?
Yeah, but then my problem is there's then nothing to spend the money on. Like, there's literally nothing I can spend the money on.
Yeah.
Like, because they limit how much you can do, there is an import export thing that I probably don't need to go into too much detail of, but basically you can sell things to other towns. It's not actual multiplayer, don't get me wrong. It's just like you're selling stuff to someone else. It doesn't matter. Someone requests it and you sell it. You don't get money, you get like these tokens that then you can use that to buy more stuff. But I think that's also limited. Like, I bought another storage thing and then that was it. It was sold out. So it's like, oh, okay. So it just feels like everything is limited. There's nothing that isn't limited in the game.
Yeah.
And I think that would be my second biggest frustration. Like, I really like this game. I think it's really fun to play. It's really fluid. The movement is fun, especially when you get like some of the vehicles. Like, there's a skateboard and there's a bike and you know, there's a cart, a go-kart and stuff like that. They're all really fun to play, and I find myself just riding around on them. That, like, the game is just fun to play. But there's a few things, and one of them is the fact that it's so limited in what you can buy. And that adds into the frustration when you basically don't have an inventory, and you have a bag, but it's like you can only fit in certain amounts. It's one of these things where it's like different things are different sizes. So if you had a steel girder in your bag, you could only have 2 of them because they're so big. Yeah. If you had rocks, you could have 10 of them, sort of thing. Which, okay, sure, fine. There are ways to get around that. Like, you have a van you can drive that you can fill up and it has more. But then you have to put things places, and there are storage boxes, but the storage boxes do the same thing as your bag, and they are very limited. So, like, I'm at the point where I have people mining and their boxes are all full, but I need them to get something different, so I have to get the stuff out the box so they get something different because I've used up all of my iron and they've just been filling it with stone because I keep using the iron for things, because there's nothing to use stone on anymore because I've done everything, and the more complex ones need iron instead of stone. So they just keep adding stone, and I can't use the stone for anything. So I have boxes and boxes full of stone that I don't know what to do with. And I can't buy more boxes. So all of my boxes are full of stone, and I can't get any more boxes. And I want to know what to do with the stone. And also, I just want more boxes. Like, the inventory thing is the thing that I understand that some people might like it, but I think I actively don't like it. Like, I just want a universal storage thing, or at least like a box that doesn't have a limit to it, right? Like, I think I see where they're going with the, like, it's trying to be a very physical game, right? Like, you mine something and then you put it in a box, or you mine something and then you take it to the place that it's needed. And then I'm going to talk about the hiring of people. Like, you can use the people that you convince to move there. You can use them to do jobs that you do at the beginning. So it allows you to have that automation, which is fun. And then you assign them to specific jobs. So you say, this is my miner, and this is my tree cutter, this is my fisher, this is my farmer. And then they will put things in the boxes that you put near them. And then you have to move them between them. But then you can get someone who is a courier. So their job is just to take things from the places that they are to the places that they need. And that I get that, and that's all fun. I mean it when I say that. I think that is actually fun because it's very physical and it's very material, and that's what that's good. But because the boxes do the same thing, I just have boxes of stone everywhere that I can't do anything with, and it's filling up storage that I could be using for other things.
Yeah, it's giving Factorio vibes.
Yeah.
You need to make it more efficient. So I'm reading the developer update that came out like a week ago.
Is this the roadmap one?
I don't know if it has a roadmap.
It's not a roadmap so much as like, here are the things we're going to focus on, sort of.
Yeah, so they talk about like minor update 1, like the things that they're. So one of them says too much stuff, the Overflow Chronicles. And it talks about the fact that you have too many items, but you don't have anything to do with them.
Oh, nice.
So you can dispose of the items in a machine that will become available to you through the tech tier.
Oh, and you'll receive import tickets. Nice. Okay, cool.
And then further down, they also say, like, we have broken down the AI worker feedback into the following issues. So one of them is the AI overproducing resources, their backpacks filling up, storage bins being placed outside of zones. That's not really that important.
Yeah, those are. I think those are mostly bugs rather than the actual kind of like fundamental issue. And the fundamental issue is I have too much stuff, which they're obviously trying to figure out some ways to deal with that. Yeah, I can see that would certainly improve it. I would also just be like to be able to buy unlimited storage. Like, I understand why they're limiting a lot of things, right? And I'm not saying don't have any limits on things, but storage specifically, right?
Really? Yeah.
Like, that seems like such a weird thing to limit. Like, if I want to have 100 boxes of stone, why not? You know, like, sure, limit the things that you can, you know, like limit the buildings so you can only have certain numbers of people living there. Limit the attractions you have so you can't just like get infinite money in a day, sort of thing. You know, that all makes sense. But storage, of all things, give me more storage, please.
Management games, woo.
Yeah, it's interesting because I generally don't like management games, and this is very much more of a management game than I thought it was going to be. But I do find it fun. I don't think it's something that I'm going to put like hundreds of hours into, like I have done with Stardew and Coral Island. But it's fun being different.
Honestly, the fact that it's more of a management game has endeared me to it more now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I think that like making things more efficient and like hiring people and having them work in different areas and like having like being like this person gets to work as a courier and like this zone, because it looks like you zone things, right?
So the zones are there by default. So you have like the map has, this is the mining zone and it's where the caves are. This is the the forestry zone. That's the word I keep trying to think of, forestry zone. And that's where the forest is. Obviously, this is the fishing zone. That's where the river is. And then there's the farming zone, which, I mean, that could probably be anywhere, but it is these are fixed zones, and you put certain things within them to do that. So you have like a time clock. So you put a time clock in the zone, and then you go to the time clock and you say, I want this person to do this job.
Yeah.
And then they will use anything that's in that zone. So you put things in the zone to allow them to use it. So you put storage in and they will use that to put things in. You put in machines and they will use the machines to make different things, etc., etc. So I think one of the other complaints that people had in general, which I think I agree is something they need to improve, but I wasn't like, oh, I can't believe they haven't got it or they need to have it right now, is like more space, because it does fill up quite quickly. And they've definitely said that they're going to be doing that. They're going to be adding expansions to the map, which is good. But yeah, I think that is not the thing that I was like, I need this right now, probably because I hadn't got to the end of the tech tree yet.
So, okay. So there are these different tasks that you can allot to people. Can you also do the tasks like yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you start out by doing it yourself.
Okay.
Right? You have to upgrade the tech tree to get the time clocks.
Got it.
So like after you've done like the first full tech tree, then you get a second tech line of the tech tree, and it goes like, here is the forestry expansion, and that gives you a machine to make planks, and it gives you a time clock for the forestry area, and it gives you another storage thing, and it gives you another chainsaw, which, by the way, the chainsaw for cutting down trees is so much fun. Like, I don't know why more games don't have that. It's just great. And then you also have the mining expansion, which gives you the mining time clock, etc., etc. So yeah, okay. you unlock them as you go. So you have to do everything to start with, and as you go, you get the ability to automate it with workers using the time clocks. But then you can also just do them if you want. Yeah, you can just go, okay, oh, this worker's being too slow, or I want this specific thing, I'm going to go do that just now, and that's totally fine.
Cool.
I didn't find myself finding I needed to do that, though. The AIs, I think, were pretty good. Yeah. Like, the only time I felt like I needed to do something because the workers weren't doing it is because all their storage was full, so they couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know? Like, they couldn't make more steel beams because there was nowhere to put them. Fair enough. I understand that.
The supply chain
sorry, there's nothing I can do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's early access, so...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I guess my point is more like, if these things sound like they would be frustrating to you, wait for 1.0. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think it is a really fun game. I'm really enjoying it. But I do think I'm probably at the point where I'm like, okay, now I wait for 1.0 before I play more.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I can see how it's going to be improving, and I want that. I want the improved version. Yeah. And I'm glad I don't regret the time I put into it, right? Like, it has been fun doing what I've been doing. But yeah, okay, I'm done. Like, 15, 20 hours is probably enough in early access. Maybe I'll play at a different point depending on what the update. Like, obviously I'll be keeping an eye on the updates and we'll be talking about them here because I always do. The games that I'm more excited about, we talk about more often. But I'll definitely get back into it when it hits 1.0 if I don't do it beforehand.
I mean, we definitely talked about that during the midway through the games episode as well, where like, what games are we looking forward to the most? And a lot of the games were just the 1.0 versions of games that we had already played. And it's I mean, that's the thing, is that you can play them in either early access or whatever, and then it solidifies that, like, yes, this game is worth my time. Now I'll set it down. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because if you play this and you're like, it's not for me, then that's it. You're not going to go back to it. Yeah. But yeah, I did the same thing for Coral Island. I played quite a lot of that game first time round, like maybe 60 hours in early access, and then I put it down and 1.0 came around and I played another 150 hours. So, yeah. It's good fun.
So you mentioned the chainsaw for cutting down trees, so that's how the tree
Yes.
cutting occurs.
Oh yes, yeah, okay, yeah, good point. So, mining, you have like a big drill that you use that you're walking around with, and you just like drill into rocks. The farming, you have a fire hose for watering, which is just fantastic. Especially love it because, well, it's not a watering can, so it's not a limited amount of water. Love it. But you literally, you pick up the fire hose, you go over, you water everything, and then when you let go of the fire hose, it just like coils back up and goes to
Yeah.
where it's meant to be. Just fantastic. Absolutely love it. There's so much care and attention into the animations in this game that yeah, you really feel that it's so like as you're dragging it, you see the hose like flapping around, and then you press it and you see it like expand when it's clearly got water in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so much fun. Fishing. It's a fishing rod.
Yeah.
They also have crab pots, but yeah, I mean the main thing is a fishing rod. They haven't done anything funny like they have for the other ones with that.
Mm-hmm.
And cleaning, you have to clean. They have a bubble gun. It's fun. The bubble gun.
The what? What?
Bubble gun. It's a gun that does bubbles and it cleans things.
Assuming bubbles are cleaning,
Yeah, like
like
Bu-
getting sudsy with soap.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So what all do you clean? Like, are you cleaning your?
The road just gets dirty, right? Because
Oh,
people
okay.
are there. There's like mud that appears on the road. People drop rubbish sometimes, so you have to pick that up. But yeah, it's like you'll just see big splotches on the ground, and people don't like it, so you have to clean it up if you don't want your guests to be unhappy. So yeah, you grab the bubble gun and you go and spray bubbles everywhere, and that cleans it.
If someone drops rubbish, can you throw them in jail?
No, they will only throw rubbish if your bins are full, so you have to empty your bins. So you got to keep on top of these things. Got to pay your bin worker because there's you can automate that as well. So I have a cleaner, and he empties the bins and cleans the ground.
I always loved that in Zoo Tycoon as well. Like, there was like the maintenance guy that goes around and fixes everything, and I was like, bruh, so many garbage cans that are overflowing, please.
Yeah. The other thing is, this might be if you really care about any sort of spoilers for this game, this is where you can stop. I think this will probably be the last thing I talk about.
Okay.
It's not really a spoiler; it's just a funny little thing, but it's the closest to a story that this game has. If you go to a certain point in the map, like it feels like you've kind of gone down a little bit of a maze, and then you appear at this area, you stand there and a UFO comes down and aliens just appear and they just become guests in your town like the humans do, and you can convince them to stay there. So I have an alien who's living in my town, and he is the fisherman. And he wears a little fisherman's hat.
Oh my gosh. I did see, like, in the developer play, I was like, what the heck? There's all these UFOs or aliens streaming out of a UFO. Like,
Yeah, that'll be it. Yeah.
It was wild.
So yeah, my fisherman is an alien.
Cool. Interesting.
It's the sequel to My Parents Are Aliens.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. How does that work? Anyway, okay,
Yes,
so we
tentacles.
talked about all the mechanics, having guests, having hiring. What are the quests?
So that's kind of like to unlock the tech tree. So you have specific things that you do, which gives you, like, it'll say like, oh, get this amount of money in a day, or build these specific restaurants. Like, you've got a whole bunch of different restaurants, like you've got like a juice bar and a sushi bar and stuff like that. So you have to build specific ones, and they give you a different kind of currency which you use to unlock things in the tech tree. And once you've unlocked everything in that on level 1 of the tech tree, then it unlocks level 2 that you can then unlock those things. So yeah, the quests are just ways that give you a second currency that allow you to unlock the tech tree and gives you more things to do, like the time clocks and stuff like that.
Okay, so tech tree is mostly like either quality of life or just like things that change the gameplay.
Yeah, or yeah, like new bigger houses. Like you start off with just building like small houses that only house 2 people. You can unlock apartment buildings that can house up to like 10. You can then, unlock like different shops. Like to start with, I think you've just got like 2 shops, and then you can unlock more like a fish and chip shop and stuff like that. So yeah, it's unlocking buildings or tools or stuff like that allows you to expand the town and get more people and get more stuff.
Is there a town rating?
There is. Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna say that's like the one thing that's missing for this to be a Zoo Tycoon.
Yeah, no, it's it's actually really funny, right? So the town rating thing, so you basically, for every positive review you get from a guest, right? If they come and they don't see anything negative and they go away, you get a point. And once you hit a certain rating, then you can unlock the next level, once you've done that and done everything in the current level of the tech tree, that's where you can then unlock the next one. But it's like this, the way that it unlocks is you get a call saying, right, you're ready for your assessment. And then you have to decide what your assessment is. And you get 3 challenges during that assessment. But also you have all these people with hard hats appear. So it's like they're assessing the town and stuff like that. So like you're trying to make as much money as possible while also making sure that you've built all the things you need to do. And also there's all like 20 people in hard hats going around checking your town at the same time. It's really funny.
Okay. That's really cool. So then you talked about the transportation or the way to like move around the place is really good. With the different like vehicles. Another thing that I liked that I was watching when I was watching the developer stream is if you have more than one person, like some of the vehicles, you can carry both people.
Oh, is that in co-op? Yeah, I didn't realize that because I've not done co-op, obviously.
Yeah, so like if we were playing together and you were like, oh man, I really want to go to this other zone and we're all the way across the map, like I'd be like, oh, hop on, like I'm also going over there. And then I could like drop you off or something.
Like you could just take me on your unicorn tricycle.
I don't know if I would definitely have the unicorn tricycle, but I don't know if those would work. It might have to be
just the van. Is it the van?
Yeah,
van.
It might just be the van.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, though that would be really funny if you just jumped on the back of the tricycle.
Yeah.
That would be lovely.
Be brilliant.
I'm trying to think of like the other. How are the sounds of like the music and stuff? Did you?
It's I turned it on a little bit. The sound effects and stuff are fine. They are kind of as whimsical as you would expect based on the graphics. And the music's fun. Yeah, it's kind of it's a mix of different genres and stuff, and you can change the music if you're not happy with what it is. It's kind of like a rolling playlist. I think you can unlock more tunes as you go on and stuff like that, but yeah. It's fine.
Cool. I mean, it seems like a super smooth game, and definitely from the gameplay, but also from talking to you, like I'm dialed in even more. Like I would love to play this and cover it for the 1.0.
It is for sure. So my real frustration with early access is when they go, right, we've built all the features in our game. Here is a buggy game. And you're like, that's not what we want, right? Like, and it's not to say that no game should ever have bugs, right? And they're never going to be able to find every bug. And part of the point of early access is getting more people onto it so you can find weird edge cases. But it's like sometimes people just do early access because they can't be bothered testing it themselves.
Yeah.
And this is very definitely not that. It's obviously limited in scope in terms of the features and the area and blah, 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 blah. But I think that's the best way to do early access because it feels like a fun game. Like the loop is good, the controls are good, it all feels nice. It's like they've left me wanting more, you know. So it's like, I want more,
and
what you want. Well, absolutely, absolutely. That's my point. Yeah, it's like I want more, and more will come at some point, and that's good. But it doesn't. Yeah, it's not. There's been a few bugs that I've encountered, but it's nothing big at all, you know.
Okay,
silly things.
Arguably, I want bugs in my games. Are there bugs in this game?
I haven't encountered any. Encountered any. Yeah, so you have beehives, but that's just your, like, you only see the bees as like little dots flying around it when there's honey on it. It's like the indicator that there's honey in them. I have not encountered bugs. There are some animals and like there's birds that fly around and like kind of squirrels and stuff like that, but I haven't. There's no interactable bugs, certainly, that I have encountered.
Lame. Okay. It
I
did
don't
also
think
say,
that I don't know if that would fit in the vibe of the game, right? Like everything's happening and like there's stuff moving and you're just sitting in the background creeping up on a bug with a net, right?
no, I mean,
It
that
doesn't really
have
feel
to
like the
be-
vibe.
It doesn't have to be bug net, like netting and like collecting insects, but just having them in the game in general, like as
I
part of
have
the
not
world.
I have not noticed if there's kind of like stuff around, but the world kind of feels natural. There are definitely animals there, but I don't know if any of them are bugs or not. I've not really been paying attention to that.
Wouldn't feel natural if there's no insects. Last question that I have for you: what is your favorite animal to high five?
In the game,
Yeah,
you can high five animals?
you can high five the animals.
Oh, I never tried. I know you can high five the villagers and the guests. I did not realize you could high five the animals.
Says high five the animals. Okay.
That does lead up my last complaint.
Oh,
It's really hard to know who you're going to high five. So like, and this actually matters because like when you ask someone to come and live there, they will give you like a little challenge. Like one of them would be like, have a book nook that you've built. That's an easy one. You build the book nook. Great. But there was one that was like, high five me. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll high five you. But like I did it and he had already turned around and started walking away. And so someone else came and high fived me instead. And I'm like, okay, fine. But there's no way to like focus on and say, this is the person I want to high five.
yeah.
Which just it took me like 6 tries to finally high five this person that asked me to high five him.
Well, that's part of the challenge as he walks away. And then the game like throws a bunch of NPCs at you.
Yeah, it's like I'll stay here if you can catch me.
Yeah, exactly. High five me if you can. Goodbye.
Yeah. So I would like a way of kind of like aiming at who you want to high five. But
Okay. Well, I would love to hear a follow-up of what animal is the best to high five. Listeners, if you've played Go Go Town, let me know what animal is the best to high five. I'm very curious. Yep. The end.
all right, well, thank you, Cody, for joining me to talk about Go Go Town.
Sad I didn't get to play it, but I will play it eventually. For sure. People can find me on Instagram at Hiking Beagle, Beagle, and on the Slack as part of the podcast.
You can find me on mastodon.scott and on Twitter at thescottbot. And maybe by the time this episode comes out, I'll have done something other than something political because of the election today. I feel like that's all it's going to be for 48 hours.
That's all it's going to be for me well,
yeah.
I don't post things about it usually, but that's all my brain is.
Your timeline.
My panic. If you see me in a state of perpetual panic for the next like 8 months, that's why.
Well, look, at least the Supreme Court's done for the year, so they can't do any more damage for a while.
They'll find a way.
No, they're on holiday now. They don't care about that.
They'll find a way.
You can find the podcast on Tumblr and on Twitter at THSPod. You can contact us from our website, harvestnation.club, where we have a feedback form. Send us some feedback. On the website, you can also find links to everything that's related to the podcast, including a link to our Patreon, which Cody mentioned, patreon.com/thspod. You can get access to the Slack. You can also get access to now 4 years worth of bonus episodes of the podcast, The Greenhouse, including the newest one, which hopefully will be out by the time this episode comes out, on Cody and my opinions on the Nintendo Direct. And there'll be more coming soon.
The incentive to join now is that I will post a picture on the Slack. I'm trying to go of a new trick that we taught my dog.
Not your bearded dragon in a cat costume.
I will update bearded dragon and cat costume stuff as well, but I'm trying to go through. Oh, and my latest tattoo. You'll never guess what it is. And this is like my last tattoo for like the year too. So
my last tattoo for the year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I have many other ones planned. But my bank account is screaming. So
fair enough. Well, thank you, Codey, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, listeners, for listening. And until next time, have a good harvest. The Harvest Season is created by Al McKinley, with support from our patrons, including our pro farmers, Kevin, Stuart, and Elisa. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode.
Well, I guess one thing is, can you hear me eating cherries?
Not explicitly, but I mean, that doesn't mean it's not on your other recording.
Okay.
Feel free to turn off original sound for a minute and I can test whether I can hear it or not.
No, I just don't have to eat them.
Should we do the recording and then you can eat wherever you want?
Yeah.